Do you want to get winning chess positions in 5 to 10 moves? Do you want to add 50 points to your rating by playing proper chess openings? Then this video will be very useful for you. I show you how to go from a rating of 700 to 750 in this one video. To make it as useful as possible, I've put timestamps below for each game. 5 minutes each, let's begin. Knight f3. Let's go. d6, my opponent wants to go e5, so that's why d6 was played. So now you go d4 to control the square twice, and already my opponent has blundered because you can take. And now we get a queen exchange, and when this happens, I'm going to take on f7, I'm going to take on e5 and pressure f7 as well. So my opponent has missed this. I'm up a pawn, his king is still in the middle, he throws in a check, but this is just a check, guys. So what? Check. I can just block with the pawn, and when this happens, I'm threatening a fork as well to win the guy's rook in the corner. So that's it, already winning. And it's move 6. Sometimes people blunder straight out the opening. That's a good move, actually. Well, actually it doesn't matter because I can just win the rook anyway. So check, and I can pick up the rook. Attacking the bishop, he's going to move it maybe to c5, to d6. He actually moves it all the way back. Now my knight is it is trapped, but I'll just get, well, I'm a rook up. I'll get the bishop out first to attack c7. The reason I do this is because then e3 is next, and then the bishop can defend. So now I think I will take that pawn. I don't see why not. Knight c6. Let's get our knight out. Knight e5. Now I am a rook up, so just trade. I don't see why not. Take, take. Now I can actually castle. I can get my knight in the center to attack another pawn. So that looks pretty good as well. I can also go e3. So then this bishop can come out to here or to here. So let's go e3 because that's more flexible. With a move like e3, I'm actually thinking of just going after this, so then this knight can come out. So let's just go after that pawn. Bishop g7. Ah, so that's why he did it. Fine. Cool. So I am going to lose that knight, but that's all right. Okay, let's get it back. And then I can take with check. So at least I got something for it. Now I've got a couple of choices. I can castle either side. I can put my knight in the middle. Let's go knight here because it attacks the g-pawn. With this move, rook is coming up. I can castle as well and open the center. Let's take the pawn. Drop the knight back to f3 because then this bishop can come back to e4. If I put my bishop there, well, it is the perfect bishop. Knight f6. Let's grab that one. 4 pawns up, guys. 4 pawns up. Let's drop it back. Now my bishop is perfect, right in the middle. And now we just go here. If you don't know where to place your pieces, just put it on a square where it is defended. Now I can castle, I can go rook d1. I can keep my knight there, or, well, I've got 3 passed pawns, let's push them. Just push. Game. Bring his brother along as well. Hitting the knight, so now I can just drop it back. Or I can throw in a check and then drop it back. So something like this. And then I can just come back. b6, my opponent has forgotten this bishop is on this diagonal, and now I can take the other rook. So pretty cool game because I managed to win both of his rooks, which we also saw in the first video. The rating climb from 600 to 700. Push. Bring it back. Throw in a check. It's always possible. So let's go for that. Check. Bishop here, why not? Trade and then push. So my opponent missed that, my rook can grab it. So that's it, check. And is there checkmate here? I hope so. The rook covers the file. I can go g4. g4 looks very tempting. There's no mate at the moment, unfortunately. I will go g4, why not? Because king g5 now he attacks my rook. So that was a little bit silly, but I can actually go here, check. I'm actually just going to take it because his knight is very dangerous, and I will castle. Get the rook in the game, bring it home. Pin. Win the bishop, and that is checkmate. Let's go for another game. So we're at 7-15 plus 19, that is 7-34. Let's go again. Knight f3 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. This is what I suggested in the first rating climb video. Knight c6, my opponent. This is what we saw before. They want to get e5 in, so I'm going to stop them with d4. Controlling e5 once again. d5 and now g3. Here we go. 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2, and we are safe. That's it. Just 4. Just 5 moves. 5 moves and you're safe. That's it. This move is not great because it blocks in the bishop. And we castle. My opponent might want to go for an e5 break. So now, like we saw before, let's go c4. 2 pawns in the center. I'm not afraid. Never be afraid if your opponent captures, because you can always take back. Let's keep it flexible. Let's go knight d2. If you are not feeling confident in these lines, what I suggest is you go knight d2 first, then c4. Because you might be feeling, well, he can take. So place the knight to d2 first, b3. I'm going to keep it flexible. With this setup, bishop is coming out to b2, just like his brother on g2. And now queen e7, he has fallen for an opening trap, which is really nice. When the queen and bishop line up, they normally are very good, but I can actually trap the bishop now with c5, just like that. And he's run out of squares. Rook e8. Now I can take, and then he might take with the queen. So let's grab the bishop. You see, that's the thing, I don't need to take, but I will. He takes with the pawn because he wants to go e5, fair enough. Now I'm going to pin him, because is the bishop more effective on b2? No. It is more effective on a3, on a more powerful diagonal. e5. Now I can grab, because if I take, he's got to take with the knight. If take, he's got to take with the queen, and then he's got doubled pawns, and that is a huge weakness. Not to mention, I am a piece up, so this is going very well. I'm using the piece my opponent doesn't have. And my opponent has forgotten. Bishops are long-ranging pieces. The bishop can take the queen. Like we saw before, in the rating climb from 600 to 700, my bishop took the guy's rook. Now I can take the guy's queen. That's what I'm noticing at this level. People are missing these bishop moves. I'm a queen up, but principles still apply. Let's just get our pieces in the game. I can get a pawn in the center. I can get a rook to the middle as well. So let's just get a pawn in the center. Let's follow up with rook c1. queen here, then the other rook can come in the middle. Now with this move, now my knight can actually come in the middle, so why not? Also, I'm a queen up. We go back to the golden rule. If you are a queen up, then just keep trading pieces, because you're going to have the queen, your opponent doesn't. Rook here. That's a pawn. I can go rook here as well. I can actually pin, you see. Why not? Use the tactic. Just pin him. Why not? Yeah, just pin. Now we can take, and lots of things are coming off. Because I'm pleased to see rooks come off, I'm up a queen. Let's get him off. And that center pawn was defended. The knight is here, but it's not really attacking anything, so I will grab the center pawn. By the way, I haven't even got my other rook in the game. Queen cannot take this because the bishop was there, but now it can actually take it. So here, just want to show you a nice tactic. If I take the knight, my opponent might have missed this. He might take my bishop, but then I've got mates on the back. So that's a nice one. Hopefully he falls for it, then it's just instructive content for this video. Take, back, rank mate, and the cool thing is he has fallen for it. That is mate, he has to block with the rook, and then you take anyway. Game over. So that's pretty cool. My opponent resigned. Cool. Because the rook goes back, and then we grab. That's it, man. That's it. A nice, smooth victory. Let's go again. 734 plus 11 is 745. Let's go. D4. Knight F6. Controlling the center, so my opponent cannot go E4. Early bishop F4. This is the London system. Let's go G6. Let's go for a King's Indian setup, which is this. Knight, pawn, and then bishop. Castle. Notice this setup I also play with white, but I'm just playing it from the black side now. In these kind of positions, I'm going to set up like this. D6, C5, or D6 and E5 as well. Putting a pawn on a dark square, we have a triangle, just like my opponent. And then we need to go for a pawn push. So my opponent just pushes like that. Can't take because his queen is defending it. So now I'm going to find a way to strike. And in these King's Indian positions, you normally want to strike with E5. You can also strike with C6 or even E6 just to break up the structure. I want to attack that pawn, so I'm actually going to go C6 today. There were many options, here, here, or there. Now my opponent opens up this diagonal, which is fantastic because I've got my King's Indian bishop. Notice my opponent has wasted a couple of pawn moves. I can use this to my advantage. Now normally I would just get my piece out, get my bishop out to G4, or maybe get my knight to D7, but I've got a tactical shot, so I'm going to take once in the center, and I believe this tactic works. Now, because his king is exposed, I can throw in Queen A5 check. With this check, I'm also attacking the center pawn, so already by move 8, just like in the previous game, my opponent has fallen for a tactic. Now, knight C3 was expected, but I have a brilliant move here using the bishop. And it is capturing in the center. Because if he takes, take, and now bishop takes, knight check. Take, and then I can pick up his queen. So if he falls for it, then that would be really cool instructive content, I mean. So take. Now he was probably thinking this, and then hopefully we're good. We can capture, we can win the queen, and brilliant, thank you. He has fallen for it. I can't take because the knight defends the queen. So now we grab first. We remove the defender, it is a check, and after this I can pick up his queen. So it's already move 10, and that's what I'm noticing. Players are blundering tactics. They're blundering pieces by move 10. And if you can see these kind of tactics, then you can win very fast. And now I've won his queen. Let's go. The same principles apply. I'm going to get my pieces out. So what if I've got a queen? I'm going to get my knight out. I'm going to get my bishop out. But he is attacking my queen, and I can just retreat the queen. But that pawn is up for grabs, so let's go for it. I could have gone here actually, so then I can take this pawn. Okay, let's get a knight out. And the cool thing is he cannot castle. Cool, he cannot castle because my queen was actually hitting the bishop. So now we can pick this one up as well. So it's move 14, and notice what's happened. Really, I've won his queen, a pawn, a bishop because of this tactic. Rook d2 attacking my queen. I cannot take because of his knight, so I'll just retreat the queen. And let's go here. I'm not going to retreat all the way. I'm just going to retreat to c4 because then I'm attacking his pawn. My queen is very well placed here. He can't attack it because I've got my knight. So I would say my queen is on a perfect spot. Not only that, I have the chance just to run the guy home. Just to win. I can take it or I can just run. Now my queen is perfect here, so I don't need to disturb that. I'm just going to push. Just run out the board. I've got a pass pawn, I can use it. I could have taken it, but it doesn't matter here because I'm up so much. Push, and we're good. By the way, if he was thinking e5, then the queen is now actually going to take the bishop. Maybe he wanted to go for this, or he just wanted the bishop to come back. We'll see. Go. Forcing a promotion. He can't block because now the rook is under attack and I can just take the rook. So a nice distraction here because by just throwing my pawn up, I win the guy's rook as well. So that's a very nice game. 20 moves, and the truth is I basically took almost all his pieces because of that amazing tactic at the beginning. 745 plus 14 is 759. Consider giving this video a like because it really does help out the channel. Do you want to see the next video going from 750 to 800? Then let me know in the comments.